Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Hey, close your eyes. Can't you see it? Can't you just see it? Listen, it's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I'm working in the yard today, and some of you know, but my internet went out 2 days ago, so I haven't been able to do any of the live shows or upload any videos. Live shows are on the second channel, by the way. If you haven't found it yet, I'm not sure what's wrong with you. The name of the second channel is Uncle Lou on LouTube. Search that up. All the live shows are over there now. 5 or 6 live shows a week. But internet's fixed now. The Comcast guy just left. Guess what was wrong? Some animal or something out here chewed through the damn wire. All he had to do was he replaced the wire that runs from the box inside to the house, the cable wire or whatever, and back good to go now. Conference only scheduling. A lot of this news started to break yesterday. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time, especially on the live shows. I kind of saw this coming, and to be honest, I've been in favor of this for a while. In fact, I thought instead of all this talk about delaying the season and all this kind of stuff, I thought what they should have done is just about a month ago made an announcement that said, "Listen, we're playing only conference games, 8, 9, whatever the number is. Figure out the number. We're going to play only conference games. We're going to start the season 2 weeks early." And we're going to extend the season by 2 weeks at the end, and we're going to play games every other week. What would that accomplish? Well, if you get the coronavirus, and listen, to Mr. Hoax Man that's sure to show up in the comments section, it's just a fake news, Bill Gates, common cold person, man. Yes, okay, you have figured it out. Literally everyone else is being tricked and fooled. They're all in on it, but you figured it out. Congratulations. But besides that, listen, if a football player gets this thing, they're quarantined for 14 days. Period. Doesn't matter what you think. That's just what's going to happen. So if you start the season early, extend it to mid-December. That gives you a 16-week period there, 17 weeks maybe, whatever it is. You could play games every other week. And if you do get a player, it comes down with the coronavirus, he might only miss one game. He might miss no games depending on the day that he gets, that the positive test comes in and blah, blah, blah. The way the season was set to go, you could have players missing 3 games depending on the day they tested positive. And if you had a Thursday game at the end, in that third week, a player could miss up to 3 weeks of games. Just didn't make any sense to do that. And let's be real, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I still am unsure whether we're going to be able to make it through an entire season, even playing less games and more bye weeks. I just don't know if it's going to happen. If teams have to start forfeiting games because they basically don't have enough players to field a team one particular week, and before you say that's ridiculous, keep in mind we have already seen multiple situations just in practice where teams have come down with 20, 30 cases of this at one time. So I think, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. And I know technically, I guess the Big Ten is the only conference that's officially announced this. The ACC is going to do it. We know the Pac-12 is going to do it. I'm sure the Big 12 will do it too. And the SEC is going to do it. There was already a meeting scheduled with the SEC athletic directors next Thursday. They've moved that meeting up to this coming Monday. It's today, Friday, so to a couple of days from now. They'll meet on Monday. They're going to make this same announcement. They're going to go conference only. The interesting thing to keep an eye on here with the SEC and the ACC in particular, a couple of things. The Pac-12, the Big 12, and the Big 10. They play 9 conference games every year. The SEC and the ACC play 8 conference games a year. I'm assuming the SEC and the ACC this year, at least, are going to bump that up to 9. How do they determine who that 9th game will be? For example, Georgia plays all 6 teams, all other 6 teams, or 7 teams per division in the SEC. Georgia plays all other 6 teams in the East, right? Then they play Auburn from the West every single year. And then the 8th SEC game is rotating between the other SEC West teams, which for Georgia this year, of course, is Alabama. More on that in a second. So how are they going to decide who to add as that 9th game? That's something interesting to me. With the ACC, there's been a lot of questions about Notre Dame. What is this going to do to Notre Dame? They're not in a conference. The ACC is going to let Notre Dame basically play 9 ACC teams this year. That's just what's going to happen. I don't agree with it. They already play 5 ACC teams every year. The ACC should be ashamed of itself for ever letting Notre Dame get them in this position. Notre Dame, of course, is fully in the ACC when it comes to things like basketball. But in football, they remain independent with just an agreement to play 5 ACC teams a year. The ACC is going to go ahead and let them schedule 9 ACC teams a year. That's what's going to happen. Here's what should happen. The ACC, because you've got Notre Dame over a barrel right now if you're the ACC. The ACC should tell Notre Dame, listen, you want to play 9 ACC teams this year? We're playing only conference games. Join the ACC fully in football, effective immediately. That's what the ACC should do. Do they have the balls to do it? Past behavior tells me no, they don't. They already let Notre Dame get away with highway robbery with the basketball versus football situation in one sport, half in the other. So I don't have any faith or confidence that the ACC would actually do that, but that's what they should do. They should say, look, Notre Dame, you're in basketball already. You're half in football, playing 5 ACC teams. Notre Dame just doesn't want a 13th game, period. That's all it is. Notre Dame does not want to have to win a 13th game, an ACC championship, for example. That's all it is. Tell Notre Dame, you want to play football this year with everybody doing conference only? Join the ACC. I wouldn't give them any other option. I don't think that'll happen, but that's what Uncle Lou is telling you should happen. Georgia versus Alabama, week 1 now, it appears. What does this mean? Well, it just means Georgia doesn't get to play Virginia and East Tennessee State before they play Bama, and Bama doesn't get to play Southern Cal and Georgia State. It's going to be interesting. Georgia's got a whole new offense. I would have liked Georgia to play a game before they played Alabama. I'm not going to lie. I have a feeling Alabama would rather play a game before they play Georgia. These are 2 really good teams. Georgia has some questions on offense. Alabama's defense, not that good last year. I expect it to be a lot better this year. Mac Jones, Bryce Young. With this being week 1, what will that mean for Bryce Young and his playing time? I would assume Bryce Young would get more playing time in a week 3 game versus Georgia than he would a week 1 game, but we'll see. I think a lot of it depends on how Mac Jones does in that game. We know Saban's not afraid to pull the trigger and put an unproven QB in the game to beat Georgia in the second half. Flashback 2017 national title game. So anyway, I've got a lot of questions over the last 24 hours about the preview videos that I've done. Honestly, the dumbest question I got was, are you going to redo them all? No, those videos take, 3-4 hours to do. There's no way I'm redoing them all. Now, I said in almost every one of those videos, I had a quote or a line that I would use. I said, listen, I'm making these videos based on the information we have now, which is they're going to try to play a full regular season. And then I said in the video, now I don't think that's going to happen, but I can't make videos based on every potential hypothetical situation. I can't make a video on a conference-only schedule just because it might happen. I can't make a video on getting rid of FCS games or lower-tier games like getting, Georgia versus East Tennessee State. I got to make these videos based on what the conferences and the schools are saying now. I'm not going to redo all those. Now, the ones going forward clearly will be altered. When I do I already did Wisconsin, didn't I? Anyway, it just as an example. I already did Oregon, but I haven't done Ohio State yet. So when I do Ohio State, I'm not going to talk about the Ohio State-Oregon game. Why? Not being played. So I'm going to continue to make the videos, and I'm gonna make the videos based off the schedule that is known the day the video is made. So if I were to do an ACC team today, I would not talk about any of their non-con games because we know they're not being played. I don't know which other 4 ACC teams would play Notre Dame, so I won't talk about that because we just don't know. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to continue to do these preview and prediction videos based on the information I have the day the video is made up until the point if and when the season is just scrapped altogether. My concern now, I think once they make this announcement about conference only, I think things will calm down for a week or 2. I think the next big hurdle The next big problem we're going to have in terms of having a college football season is going to be the first couple of weeks of August, when, take UGA for example, 40,000 students that are spread out right now all over the country. They're all coming to Athens the first week of August to start classes. Ohio State, 80,000 students. And every other major college football program generally falls somewhere in between. There's some smaller ones with 20 or 25, but 30, 40, 50,000, that's about your average enrollment at a lot of these huge schools. So that's the next hurdle, the next potential landmine, I think, is what's going to happen when all these students show up on campus the first week of August, second, third week of August. What if there's, you know, a 10 or 15% infection rate on these campuses? What are they going to do? So I applaud the decisions that have been made and are about to be made about moving to a conference-only schedule, because that tells me they're trying to do something to save the season, whereas up to this point it appeared they were doing nothing. I still think football in spring is a strong possibility. I know there's a lot of problems associated with that, but there's a lot of problems associated with any college football season we try to have for the 2020 season. You know, the worst case scenario, in my opinion, is that we start the season when we're supposed to, and 3-4 weeks into the season they have to shut it down. Because if that happens, the season is just scrapped. They won't, you know, there will be no spring season. It's not like they're just going to shut down for a month and then start playing again. No. Once they start up and they play 3 or 4 games, it's all or nothing at that point. If they have to cancel it, it's over. You can just hang it up. Well, I say that's the worst case scenario. Clearly the worst case scenario is one of these players, coaches, support staff, something like that, were to die. That's maybe I should have said that first, but obviously that's the worst case scenario. From a football perspective, the worst case scenario is to start the season and then it has to get shut down. All right, the internet is back working here. I was actually in the process of uploading a video on Wednesday when my internet went down. It's a Texas A&M preview. So the Comcast guy actually hadn't even left yet. He's still in his van out front. But I'm going to go inside right now, upload that Texas A&M preview. So that'll come out today. And then we'll just play it by ear as we go forward. I've got a list of teams I'm working through. I don't know off the top of my head which team is next after Texas A&M, but like I said, I'm going to continue to do these preview and prediction videos up until the point that the season either starts or the season is canceled. As I make each video, I will make it based on the most up-to-date information available at the time I make the video. So when you watch Texas A&M, yes, I talk about their non-con games. Spoiler alert, there's 0 non-con games of interest for Texas A&M. The best non-con game on Texas A&M's schedule this year is Colorado. So it wouldn't have really mattered, I don't think, one way or the other with the Texas A&M preview if I left out the non-con games or not. Anyway, I've been MIA for a couple of days. If you were wondering why, that's why. Internet back up and running now. Don't forget about the live shows. Today's Friday, so the live shows won't start back till Monday. But check out the second channel for the live shows. If I can remember, I'll put a link to the second channel in the description. But like I said, the name of the second channel is Uncle Lou on LouTube. Check it out. A lot of you are already over there. A lot of you aren't. I do 2 night shows a week, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. It's a call-in show, so you can call and talk college football with me, argue about college football, whatever it is you want to do. And then me and BVD, a Tennessee fan, we co-host a morning show 4 mornings a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. Once the season starts, if it starts, I have another live show that I do on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. So all of that, all of the live shows are on the second channel. This channel is for uploads only now. So please check out the second channel if you haven't already. All right, give this video a thumbs up, even though really it's just filled with bad news. Don't hold that against me. All right, guys, y'all hang in there. Fingers crossed on the football season, and I'll see you again real soon. Have a good morning.